Morning! Livy, can you say morning?
Morning. Morning.
So today, Livy is out of school because she's in kindergarten and the school's having kindergarten registration. But first thing this morning, I'm running over to a buddy's house getting an IBC tote, and we're going to place that at the new barn, and then we're going to haul some soybeans. So let's get to it. Definitely lost you guys for a few hours, but it's now noon and we've got our IBC tote that I went and picked up this morning situated. I know you guys didn't see any of that because, well, like I said, I lost you, but basically an IBC tote, we have a lot of them around here. White tanks right there are called IBC totes. Most of our chemical comes in those. And companies don't take them back. We end up with a bunch of them. And our barn back there doesn't have running water, and it's not going to have running water this growing season for sure. So one thing I did was I put an IBC tote down there. I got a guy coming to install gutters on that building this afternoon. He's going to tie the gutters into that tote, and then every time it rains we'll have 250 gallons of rainwater. So one of the things I'm going to try is using an RV water pump, tying it into that IBC tote and plugging that in to my solar system. I should be able to have pressurized running water that way. That's something we'll tinker with, but either way I definitely needed water back there. They're putting gutters in anyways, fairly might as well drain into something that I can use that water from. But I went and got my buddy's IBC tote because the one he had was not containing Roundup or atrazine or something like that. It was an adjuvant, so a little bit safer for consumption. Now I did rinse it out. It was cleaned, but he had one sitting there. We didn't have any of those at the moment. We will have some later, so I went and swiped one. The dad is spraying some more wheat. Got a couple tanks of wheat to spray, and then we're going to be switching the corn burn down. This is definitely getting to where we'd like to be putting some corn in the ground. Plan is to try some later in the week, more or less just to make sure everything's functioning. I don't think we'll have a lot of corn ground that's ready to plant from a fertilizer standpoint, so or a herbicide standpoint, but we'll have some, and we want to make sure that thing's going to work. Just got a phone call from our gutter guy. He is there and needs me to move that water tank. I guess I put it a little too far from the building or something, so we're going to go over there and do that and give him a check. I hate that part. Some guys do seamless gutters, and pretty neat. That stuff starts off in a black roll of sheet metal, goes through that machine, transforms it into a gutter. They just rolled out a 50-foot gutter in no time at all. No seam, shouldn't leak for a long time. So those are the same people that did the gutters on my house. Pretty happy with them. But 2 or 3 hours, and if that, and they'll be completely done. Pretty efficient. Well, back to farming. So we got another bin plugged. Kind of seems to be a habit. This is a bean bin though, and usually what happens is the fines will run down some of the FM, plug the sumps on these old bins. And the handles broke off this one, so we're gonna round it off now. So I'm gonna go spread some fertilizer now. Hauling grain's going pretty slow. BJ's gonna try to get that load that he's working on now, and then that's gonna be it for today. And the wind's not too bad today, so we're gonna go spread. BJ was checking to see if he could spread fertilizer here later on this evening. Might be a bit on the wetter side for that right now, but I'd say tomorrow he will definitely be in good shape for spreading, not spreading, strip tilling fertilizer. There we go. We're gonna put a scoop or two in there. As far as we're going from home base, I want to have enough product. Don't need much. We still got some in the back, but a scoop in the front would be good. Well, we got school traffic. Might be interesting. So this field is a field that we made quite a bit bigger. It was a 36-acre field and a 20-acre field, and either way, it ended up being 80 acres now. And I ran the Salford over it last fall. It's good and smooth, but you can tell everywhere I missed everywhere I missed, like point rows or places that I didn't quite turn short enough, there'll be a lot more weed pressure there. Kind of neat. But hopefully this ground gets strip tilled. This is going to be a cornfield, but it just depends. This might be a field that we end up pulling the plug on strip till before we get here, just for time's sake. And if that happens, it'll get dry spread with Mes 10. Like BJ's stripping. Morning. Donkeys, say morning. They're not very vocal today. So today we've got some good weather. We're going to get a lot of fertilizer spread, and BJ's going to get a lot of strip tilling done. So we're going to be spreading, stripping, and Dad's going to get a lot of spraying done. So we're going to get a lot of spreading, stripping, spreading, and spraying. There we go. So before we get going for the day, kids were running a little late this morning. I told them I'd stop and feed their goats. You guys probably didn't know I wore glasses, did you? More of a contact kind of guy. So we're going to stop in here and do that. I'll show you guys the rain barrel from yesterday. We really never really addressed that very much. We went with a black gutter, not my first choice, but they did not have our trim color. It's going to be off a little bit, and we're going to have to special order it. But yeah, basically that'll run into that barrel. We'll have me a little water pump right here, and we'll have running water out here to rinse the goats off and whatnot. But we'll have to do something a little better than that. I thought when they said they had done this before, they had some kind of way of sealing up this downspout into that. I don't know, I was kind of looking on Amazon. We'll see what we can find. Anyways, let's go feed these goats and spread some fertilizer. So the way we're feeding these goats, we've got a scale set up here, and we're giving them 1.5 pounds every feeding. Now eventually they might end up all in separate pens when we get to where we're trying to control the feed a little tighter. Right now 2 of them are in a pen together, so one of them could be picking out. There goes Bubby back and forth. Looks plenty moist. So Dad's spraying corn burn down, and I'm hoping we finish potash today. We're pretty darn close. So the main reason that we haven't done any tillage yet on bean ground, we usually vertical till all of our corn stalks, is because we've been wanting to get all of our fertilizer applied before we do that. And well, we should have been done by now. So we're going to put potash on bean ground, as well as a product called Triple P for phosphorus and some AMS. Well, we've got to get the potash done so we can go get the AMS and the Triple P. So first stop, we're heading up the road. Only going 3 or 4 miles. We've got to put on about 12 tons of potash up there. I hope I've got enough in here to finish that. I don't know. I hate to travel that heavy, but I'm probably going to make 2 trips. I don't know. Probably should have loaded her heavy and just done it, but oh well, we'll get done when we get done. One thing we were going to do today, we're going to be in some of the ground that was flooded, and I don't know. I assume we'll be able to do it all. We're going to find out. I really haven't seen these river bottoms we're headed to since they were underwater, so I don't know how much cleanup there'll be. We can still spread, but before we plant, I have no doubt we'll have to take a grapple bucket down there in the front end loader and probably move some trees, set some stalks on fire and stuff like that. Oh, here comes Dad. He's going to spray those fields we just spread. So one day those fields are going to get fertilizer, spreader, sprayer, and then BJ's going to come in there and strip till them here in a few hours. So a lot of activity. So really there's not a lot of river trash. I'm kind of surprised. We haven't got over everything yet, but I've done that whole 100 acres, and there's a log out in that field we got to get, but not too bad. And there's a little bit of river trash. Nice bag chair. Might use that for lunch today. Well, we end up being 12 acres short. I guess I should have put another scoop on. So we're gonna stop for a second and help everybody move. BJ is taking that strip till bar to the farm we just left. He has 170 acres there he can run. I'm pretty sure he's gonna stop about 5 o'clock and run to a baseball game that he's coaching. So that 170 is probably gonna take him the remainder of the day. He needs to get his pickup up there, that way he can have a ride and also a way to get fertilizer if he needs it. I believe Dad is done spraying over here. He needs help moving that water wagon. So we got to play gopher for a little bit, or chauffeur. Chauffeur, gopher, chauffeur. There we go. Shut her off just in time. This back bend you can't see back here. Kind of wish if this was our spreader and it wasn't a leased spreader and we were keeping it, I'd probably mount a camera right here looking down, because you can't tell when this bend's empty. If we were buying one and we had all the money in the world, price wasn't an object, it'd have scales in it, but it doesn't. Afternoon, everybody. Stripping. Actually, we're moving to a new stage, if you will.
It's about lunchtime. Everybody is loaded up and rolling out. Brian is taking on the all-important lunch lady role today. So I've been fed, tanks are full. Now I'm just cruising around the field trying to get a GPS signal. I think we're getting somewhere. So that little green thing right there signifies that I'm connected to Agfinity, which means all my data is syncing to our cloud, and we can view that remotely at the shop on the computer. And my satellite just turned green, so now we can get to work. I did already start this field. We're in that corner. Brian came and got me in a truck down here, so I had a brief pause to do that, to eat. And I don't know if you can see where I've skipped passes, where the rows are so short there, rather than making a bunch of quick turns. GPS allows me to skip in the past. And since I'm on RTK, which is sub-inch accuracy, I can come back, finish it out, and not miss a beat. And we are stripping.
Well, we're back from gopher chauffeuring. We're gonna load back up with fertilizer. We're gonna run back up there and finish that field we were in. We got a couple bigger fields right around here we're gonna do, and that should take most of that fertilizer. We got a few small patches we'll have to run to later, but at the moment those are on the bottom of my priority list. Main priority is making that pile of fertilizer disappear. That pile is dwindling. I think one more fill up and we'll be done. A lot of stock mats, so these will be burnt. What we'll probably do is we'll come down here with the vertical tillage tool, light these on fire, and then run over them a few times with the tillage tool, keep the tool in the field while they're on fire. With that, we can keep the fire from spreading it, getting out of hand. And then we can fluff it up again and relight it and really get rid of those stock mats. The problem is when you have that many stalks in that small of an area, you won't get a stand of corn there. Between the bug pressure and just that ground won't dry out, it'll be super moist. From that, it will not work. So that's probably what we'll have to do. Still got a little bit of water standing. I didn't realize there was any water down here still. We'll just have to go around that. Definitely be a little while before this ground here would be ready. So that's river water. That's not stagnant water from high rains. That's where the river came in. There's a low spot there and a low spot there, and they all drain about a mile down into the river. Did have cover crop in this field. You can see some of that rye. It's not real big, but it is growing. So we're gonna have to terminate that rather soon. We don't want it to get out of hand. With some of these wet spots though, that'll make this challenging, but I don't think any of them are gonna be big enough we can't hang up. I think we'll be fine actually. Now, that's a lot more solid than I was afraid it was going to be. Okay, I thought we were about to get stuck. Got a utility company coming through this field. Hopefully they're out of here in a month, but one way or another we'll still get paid, because if we can't plant, then, well, and we've got a crop damage claim on them. But it'll just make it a pain in the butt to plant and spray and all that stuff. It's going to be a pain in the butt now just to get it worked back down with that trench. We do have a Blue Jet trench closer over there. It's been sitting in the yard for a while from Underfirth. Kept thinking we would get a try it on some tile lines, but maybe we'll get a try it on that. It'd probably close that up pretty nice. Well, this farm's done for now. We didn't get stuck, so we'll call that a victory. But this is definitely going to be one of the later planned farms, especially with that utility project going on. It usually is later just because it's a little further away from main base, and this ground always stays a little wetter in the spring, a little longer. A couple springs coming out of that hillside. We don't own this farm, otherwise we'd probably systematically tile that bottom field. I don't know that it would help 100%, but it'd definitely help a little bit. So it'll be a while before we get back to this one.
All right, clocking back in for the night shift after Mason's baseball game. Big win. So yeah, gonna run off some acres and eventually go home and go to bed. But eat my McDonald's and hope for a problem-free evening running the bar. Did run into some some pinched wiring earlier that got taken care of, patched up, and I think it should be smooth sailing. And just like that, we're done. Parking here tonight. I think there's another 75 acres or so in the bottoms that I'm going to run tomorrow. So first day in the morning, I'll be up here with the tender truck and reload. Hopefully get that done and some more.